Pradeep magazine. You've tracked this game for years. Do you believe that the dressing room is as sacred as Kirti Azad makes it out to be? Should political leaders enter it at all? Are we saying that the Prime Minister of the country should not enter? Emmanuel Macron, I repeat, was there with Kylian Mbappe, the footballer after France lost the World Cup last year. Are we saying politicians should not be seen with sportspersons after victory or defeat?
Rajdeep, look, I don't want to get into this debate of Congress, BJP, because both political parties or whichever political party has been the ruling party has milked cricket for their own publicity purposes. Right now, there are entire BJP, because of the Lodha ban, they can't themselves be office bearers. Their children or brothers are office bearers. I want to raise a larger issue. Look, who politicize? I think today we are at the extreme of politicization of sports and cricket as well. How could we have had Ahmedabad as the center hosting the final? We had Calcutta, we have Wankhede in Bombay. They are the cricketing centers. We make Ahmedabad, okay, it's a huge grand stadium, but we make cricketers play there a final. The crowd, we saw how embarrassed India was day before yesterday because there was a crowd which was not interested in cricket. We had film stars being shown repeatedly on television. Was Kirti Azad there? Was he invited? He is the member of the 1983 World Cup winning team. Kapil Dev was not invited. I don't know about Dhoni, but he was not there. So it was a spectacle, it seemed, designed for India winning the World Cup. That is fine. We all wanted India to win the World Cup. They were the strongest team there. But to put so much of pressure on them, I think when you make this that India will win, there are 1 lakh people there inside. The Prime Minister himself goes there. I felt that it was creating a pressure on a team which they need to get so much pressurized. What I'm trying to say is that politics and sports always mix, as he was talking about Macron, but he was also severely criticized by the French press for what he did there by hugging that player, and because he was crying, and they felt that Macron was using that for his own publicity purposes. And there was tremendous criticism there, not from the political parties, but from the supposedly neutral press. So if you politicize a sport, if you take credit for victory as we have provided them with space, money, infrastructure, then in defeat also people will say that why don't you take responsibility for that?
You make a good point. You make a very good point there, Pradeep, that if you take credit every time India wins, then you must be prepared in a way to also accept flack if you are seen to be politicizing the sport. But Kirti Azad, I come back to it. The way the BCCI is structured, over the years, politicians have always been involved. Whichever is the ruling party, in a way, controls sport, controls India's most popular sport, cricket. The Prime Minister, dare I say, was also, if you recall, President of the Gujarat Cricket Association earlier, as was Amit Shah, as was a Sharad Pawar, as today is a Vaibhav Gehlot, the son of Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. So it appears that politics and cricket will always get entangled. In that sense, can you keep cricket away from politics? Is that at all possible in your view?
If the Lodha committee was taken in toto and later on the way the rules were diluted by the subsequent Chief Justices, I'm not, please for God's sake, saying anything against the court, but the way he had made it out, the first draft that had come out, which was accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court, and then over the years, how it got diluted, you got the politicians back into power. But they know how to get into backdoor entries. We have lots of these instances which shows that they have come in. But it was never like this before. Before Lodha, you had people, you had great cricket lovers in Mother House India. You had great cricket lovers in Mr. NKP Salve. They were great cricket lovers to an extent. Even Sharad Pawar was a very good, great cricket lover. But they never intervened into cricket going to such an extent where they would go and even at times question the selection of the side. This is what I am talking about. Had the Lotha committee, the first draft that was accepted by the Supreme Court, had it been there, the political interference would have been only 5 or 6%, and that would have made no difference.
No, are you saying Jai Shah has no love for cricket? No, Kirti Azad, are you saying Jai Shah has no love for cricket? Is that what you're saying? And that he's actually intervening in selections, pitches and other issues? Is that a charge you're making today? And do you have evidence to back that?
No. No, I didn't say that. I said to an extent that we come to know. I'm not saying that Jai Shah is, he's not a cricketer. He's a cricket lover. 1.3 billion people in our country, they love cricket. All of them love cricket. But can you imagine, I read in the newspapers that all the World Cup captains, champion team captains since 1975 are coming to Ahmedabad and are being honored there. And then what I come to know, listen to my captain, the captain who made India the cricketing superpower, where India got its first World Cup in 1987 when ICC had presidents and chairmen because of that 83 victory. You had the TWI, ESPN coming in, 30 cameras, commercialization. It all started during 1983. And here was our captain Kapil Dev, that legendary man, the greatest all-rounder, and I can arguably prove why, was not invited. So can you imagine the kind of, and even MS Dhoni for that matter. Just can you imagine the apathy? You see the real or the duplicate Kapil Dev there, dancing there, and you find other film stars. Fair enough, I have no objections. But why not these great cricketers?